My boss called my emergency contact during a work trip to say I'd been hurt, but I was standing right next to him perfectly fine. My boss, Glenn, called me into his office and told me I had to go to a work conference 2 hours away starting the next day. I told him, I can't go. Natalie has a work event and I need to be home with the kids. He leaned forward and said, this isn't optional. You're the only one who can represent the company. If you want to keep moving up here, you need to prove you're dependable. I felt completely trapped. When I got home and told Natalie, she just stared at me in disbelief. She asked, you couldn't say no? She had to call her mom to watch the kids and I felt terrible about the whole thing. The next morning, I drove to the conference feeling guilty. My presentation ended up going really well though. Glenn called right after and told me, you killed it. Enjoy the rest of the conference. See you tomorrow. Hearing that actually made me feel better about everything. Maybe this trip was worth the trouble after all. I grabbed lunch and went back to my room to relax. That's when Natalie started calling me over and over. I answered and she was absolutely sobbing on the other end. She asked, where are you? What hospital? I told her, I'm in my hotel room. I'm fine. She said, Glenn called. He said you were in a car accident, that you're hurt and they're rushing you to the hospital. I felt sick. Something was very wrong here. I called Glenn immediately, but it went straight to voicemail. I called the office and his assistant told me he had left around noon for something personal. I tried Glenn again and he finally picked up. He asked, what? His tone was annoyed like I was bothering him. I asked him, why did you tell Natalie I was in an accident? There was this long silence and then he said, I must have gotten confused. Someone mentioned an accident near the conference. Thought it was you. I told him, you literally just called me an hour ago. His voice went completely cold. He said, it was a mistake. Drop it. Then he just hung up on me. I sat there staring at my phone. Glenn had left work early and called Natalie during lunch when I couldn't answer. He knew she would be home alone with the kids at her mom's house. He had planned this. I threw all my stuff in my bag and checked out of the hotel as fast as I could. The 2-hour drive home felt endless. I kept replaying how cold Glenn sounded when I questioned him. When I turned onto my street, I saw Glenn's car parked right in front of my house. My heart started racing. I pulled into my driveway and just sat there staring at his car for a second before getting out. I walk inside and Natalie is sitting on the couch with bloodshot eyes. She sees me and jumps up. She says, oh my God, you're okay. She tries to hug me, but I step back. I ask her, where's Glenn? Her face loses all its color. She asks, what? I tell her, his car is outside. She starts shaking. She says, he stopped by to check on me after the accident thing. I look past her and see Glenn's jacket draped over the chair and 2 wine glasses on the coffee table that still have wine in them. I point at the glasses. I ask, checking on you? Natalie's eyes fill up with tears, and I can tell they're guilty tears. I ask her, how long has this been going on? She covers her mouth with both hands and won't answer me. I take a step closer and my voice is shaking when I ask again, how long? She whispers, 8 months. I feel like I can't breathe. Glenn has been sitting in meetings with me acting like everything was normal while coming to my house and being around my kids this whole time. This morning he called to congratulate me on my presentation, knowing exactly what he was planning to do this afternoon. I tell her, you planned this. She nods while crying harder. She says, Glenn told me you'd be gone until tomorrow. This was supposed to be the last time. I actually laugh, but it sounds crazy. I ask, where is he now? She tells me, he left out the back when he heard your car. Then we both hear a creak from upstairs and freeze. We look up at the ceiling and Natalie's face drains of color. Glenn never left. He's still here hiding in my house. Glenn walks down the stairs. I look him dead in the eye and tell him to get out of my house. He got fired. I got his position in full custody. Natalie got nothing.